Well, this says it all now, doesn't it? So the Department for Digital Culture. No, it's not just a culture, it's digital culture, media and sport, right? So it actually used to be called the Department for National Heritage, right? So it was a Department for National Heritage. They had a department of the heritage of the country, right? The problem is, right, the heritage of the country is actually not His Majesty's heritage at all, because it's the heritage of other people who actually were conquered by, invaders. So, now it is all about digital culture. So no wonder we're seeing things like, our local area being transformed literally into a Borg university, Borg buildings, microchip buildings, into the core of the brain buildings, and then we've got Tony Blair at the World Economics Forum, banging on about implementing the procedures, getting the right companies, buying the companies, getting everyone on our side. So basically, Tony, what you're doing is you're, selling off all the public services, privatising them. They make the decisions. They decide what goes on. Everybody's under their command, working for them. So what actually are the voters doing then, Tony? What are the voters actually deciding on? Not much, when they can't really oppose it or protest or sign any petitions, because the actual digital sector that's taking over, which is Sir Nick Clegg, also a minion of His Majesty, along with Sir Tony Blair. Sir Nick Clegg is obstructing and blocking, with Mark Zuckerberg, any chance to take any political action to oppose anything that the government's doing. Because we're literally locked down on the internet. And now we can't actually turn up in person to do anything. People are getting arrested for simply speaking, out in public now. It seems to me like there is actually it seems like the digital, it's almost like some cyber geeks, some cyber persons are literally programming themselves into running the world, not the actual voters or the people. It seems to be like it's the technology itself now that is more important than the voters. It's almost like the smartphones, the digital IDs, the buildings themselves, the media centres, the university build. It's actually more important than actual human beings. It's almost like the football stadium is more important than the fans or the players. It's almost like the advertisements, the light up digital boards, the actual programs. It's almost like Netflix. It's almost like the film is more important than the people who are watching it, more important than the actors. It seems to me like this Department of Culture, Digital Culture, Media and Sport, which pretty much was well emphasised in the Doctor Who episode when they got a big, spaceship planted into the middle of the football stadium. Literally, the Sontaran spaceships literally infiltrating the media and sport, infiltrating the headquarters of the country. And I think that was intended by Chibnall in his writing in that programme to emphasise that we are literally being assimilated, and the fact is, right, also, and by the way, it turns out this Tory, the Right Hon, Michelle Donnellan MP, never really heard of her before, because I'm not a fan of Tories, but, so, I don't get, this is the part that I don't get, right, Natural England, not natural England, historic England, right? So, historic England actually, as a body, as a organisation, put in an objection. They, as an entity, which is meant to be public funded, right, put an objection in against building on an ancient historic local site, right? A local heritage site, which is meant to be Schedule 1 listed monument, right? Prehistoric monument. They objected, but yet the council approved planning permission. How can the council approve planning permission when not only did we get permissions to object, also the actual body dealing with it also put in an objection? I don't really get how Kirklees Council worked that out, right? And now we've got amalgamated petitions, at least 5 or 6 amalgamated petitions, over 8,000 signatures, right? And so what Historic England are saying now is that the applicant who wants to build on one of these 2 local sites, right, Castle Hill, they have yet to apply for scheduled monument permissions, but yet they apply through the body that objected against them building, which is insanely ridiculous. But yet the application is not to Historic England, the body that objected to it anyway, but they are then merely mediators to the Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, which is ridiculous. The body that objected against it is the body that they apply through to the Secretary of State for scheduled monument permissions, right? Yet, right, my petitions, and I don't think Historic England have quite got their head around this, right? What evidence is now being put forward in my petitions and what the claim is. I have now written to United Nations, both in England and in New York, right? I am claiming, or we are the undersigned, because I've got thousands of signatures on the petition, right? We're claiming United Nations Religious Site Protection Protocol, which is clearly outlined in the United Nations documents on religious site protection, which means that it's a criminal offence to build on, spoil, damage a religious site, particularly a prehistoric religious site, right? Of which I am claiming that we have got 2 of. One of them has already been spoiled and ruined, damaged, attacked in 1954 when it fell from Liberal Party control, fell into Labour Party control, and then they built on it in 1954, right? After the area was already spoiled and ruined by the Imperial Chemical Industries, signed off by King George, and Sam Copley had bought the entire area and sold it, giving it he sold it to the council, to His Majesty's government, right? What is it? The situation is this, right? That hill at Dalton is named Warrior's Tomb in Dalton by Chas Hobkirk in his book 1854. I've got a copy was signed in 1854. It was at least published, if not written, before 1854. Right? That site is named. The shape of the site is a Liberty Cap shape. It is at the source of the river, which is the Pennines, it is affiliated with the Liberal movement and the Liberal Party. It's affiliated with the Whigs who opposed the Royals in the Civil War. Our side sided with the Liberals because of its Liberal Party affiliations and symbolism. Also with the Brigantes tribe, when the Roman invasion is affiliated with. It is within 2.5 kilometres of Castle Hill. We know that these sites are within that distance between each other because we've got Sisbury Ring and Shanktonbury Ring at Worthing and Scratchbury and Battlesbury at Warminster, right? We know that they had ancient hill forts and sites close together. And the fact that, the war broke out, yes, the war broke out when Varley started excavating Castle Hill. All hell broke loose, World War II broke out, right? They didn't really want these sites to be acknowledged and celebrated. Now, the Dalton site, it is big enough to be a hill fort, but yet it is unique. But so what? There are other unique sites. Glastonbury Tor is unique. Now, you can't say it's a hill fort, but then again, you don't say that it is some sort of mound, but yet it attracts tourists from all over the world. It's one of the most photographed sites, yet, what is the function of it? Well, the function is, it is religiously symbolic, and it is, it's not only associated with ancient folklore and legend, the Arthurian legend. It is a religious site because it's actually got a religious, it's got a church on it. You could say that church is an attack of the prehistoric religious site at the end of the day, but then they built a religious site on it, which is a church. But yet, you can have an attack of a religious site with a religious site if it's a different religion, you could argue that. But as it stands, I would say that the function of Glastonbury Tor is a beautiful viewpoint of the flatlands that surround it. But, these sites do have religious significance. Now, at West Kennet, where West Kennet Longbarrow is, you've also got Silbury Hill, which is meant to be man-made. And it used to have water around it, right? That is also a well-photographed World Heritage Site, and it has got religious symbology as well. They don't exactly know for sure what the function is, but they know that it is religious in nature because it's next to the Longbarrow, which is religious in nature, right? It has symbology, and it was all white. Many of these sites are unique of themselves. They're not absolute total copies of each other because the landscape's unique, but they still have symbology. Usually they have a male or female symbology. When there's a male and female symbology, the symbology is to do with birth and rebirth and being born. We know that's clearly obvious. You can ask any expert in religious sacrament and psychedelics, from Dr. Dennis McKenna to the Dennis McKenna records to, Matt Hancock to Jonathan Ott to anyone in the field of, origins of religion, anthropology. It's clearly obvious. And the writings of Strabo prove that not only the Picts were painting the bodies different colours because of religious experience, but all through France as well. So, there's nothing on the face of this planet that leads to bodies being painted bright colours other than having an experience with ancient sacraments and psychedelics that lead to you turning into bright colours yourself And becoming bright colours, it is a no-brainer. So there's not even any question around it or about it. And what leads to that experience is the psilocybin and psychedelic mushrooms, of which the Liberty Caps are, right? And the rebirth experience that human beings have, the recalibration, as in, the Indian god Kali, the recalibration, right? It's just a no-brainer. Now, Uli Longbarrow, Heteropegalous tuft, is female in shape. Bella Snap is male in shape. These Longbarrows are male and female in shape and associated with the rebirth and the religious experience, particularly if you're dying and they've got burials there, but also for experiences of rebirth as well. We now know that West Kennet, the signage on it was incorrect. We know that it was actually an open temple for use, not only for burials, for a very, very long period of time. It's the same with Newgrange and the other sites near Newgrange, Noth and the other site, because they have got smaller mounds around them, which is almost like the children being around the mother, and you actually enter it. Our sites have male and female symbolism, but they're just bigger. They're bigger than merely West Kennet Longbarrow or Bella Snap. You can have male and female sites, Longbarrows, that are actually hill fort as well, right? And, ancient, prehistoric, Neolithic villages being on ancient sites. You don't build modern buildings on them because it's a preserved ancient prehistoric site, and it's meant to be in celebration to male and female and birth and rebirth and the religious experience, particularly when our area is, right. And also another thing, in those prehistoric maps of the ecology of the entire island, for example, Amanita muscaria is also associated with one of the sacraments, one of many sacraments. And, there aren't that many places where it grows. It's meant to grow under fir trees and pine trees. And our area actually has a lot of fir trees and pine trees around the edge of the Pennines, I'm not saying that, in Wales as well, in Scotland and other places, but if you actually look at the tree growth on those maps, it is a particular area for that as well, There's no doubt whatsoever you wouldn't have that site being so near Castle Hill. In the shape and size of it are clearly obvious. I mean, the fact that following Hobkirk's book, which got published and widely circulated around the globe without doubt, and having a ring of trees around it, then pops up it's a greenbelt term, and then the French are suddenly, we've got an idea now, let's build a statue to, celebrate liberty. What's liberty? Well, it's liberal movement, liberty. And also, it means the source. Well, what is the source of liberty? Well, it might just be Liberty Caps. Well, why do you call them that? Well, where's this liberal? Who's throwing this liberal term around? And what are the things that associate and connect it together? Well, look, we'll choose this island in America. What's the size and shape of it? Well, it represents liberty, and it just happens to be the exact size and shape of the Liberty Mound, which has just been popped up and circulated around in Hobkirk's book. What a coincidence. And what is she holding in her hand? A torch, the light. Well, what can you hold that it happens to be, the light? Well, could just be the liberal Liberty Cap religious experience, It's seriously, but yet the Statue of Liberty in Liberty Island get all this, world-renowned glory and fame, yet our site, which Hobkirk actually indicates in his book, gets buried under a tram line, under the Imperial Chemical Industries, and under a big letter D shape for Duns, which would indicate the symbol D in a dunce hat perfectly, gets banged slap on the top of it by the Labour Party. Ironically, when they take control of the Liberals, seems all set up to me, and it just happens to coincide also with Queen Elizabeth. And, you know, it seems to have some sort of, you know, Coronation Street, you know, coronating the mound, crowning the mound. You know, there's a TV programme popping up as well, Coronation Street, to the Queen's coronation. It all seems to me, you know, rather ridiculous, and it actually seems not a celebration of culture, history and sport. It's actually an attack on culture and heritage. And why is that? Because it is actually not the heritage of this royal family. It is actually not the culture of this royal family. In fact, the evidence shows, in my opinion, that it is actually an insult, a slap to the heritage of this country. And also the fact that this is what makes it worse, right? It was the Department of National Heritage, not just royal heritage, national heritage, the heritage of everyone, right? But yet now this department is conveniently called, it's all about digital culture and sport and media. You know, forget national heritage. It's all about the future and digital, which is what is happening to the rest of the town around the site. Here's a big sports stadium, you know. Here is Barry Sheeman's microchip building, the building for media, the media centre. And now here's a university, a nice Starship Enterprise shaped building with a Borg cube built on the side of it, a light up Borg cube. Oh, and there's Sir Patrick Stewart, Knight of the Realm. Oh, and now pops up Prince Andrew afterwards. Right? Oh, and there's an industrial estate that everyone was objecting to. Everyone was objecting to this industrial estate repeatedly, en masse, yet persistently the council seems to have approved it. And what building gets built on this industrial estate? In core, right into the core, in the middle of the country. And what are the digital movement trying to do in the, World Economic Forum? And Sir Tony Blair, servant and knight of the realm, along with Sir Patrick Stewart, trying to get in the microchips and the thumbs and the digital ID and the digital surveillance and the digital control. All digital, right? And the neural link as well. And what happens in this new Starfleet Command-esque future, where all the university buildings and digital media and sport is all coming together in one new movement? Well, we all get assimilated, and we all get transformed into machines with implants. And this is what the entire problem is. And you know, it seems to me that there is no culture or history anymore. As Neil Oliver has been saying in his programmes, the plan actually seems to be to assimilate history and culture. Because this new digital movement seems to be saying, come in. We accept everyone. There is no discrimination here. There are no differences. There are no races. There are no languages. We are but one. So forget your culture. Forget your history. Forget the Department for Department for National Culture. That's the past. We are creating our future. We are creating the digital future and playing sport and media, play football, watch advertisements, eat McDonald's, forget history, forget culture. You know, that seems to me what is going on. Particularly when, you know, it's convenient for Charles and the Windsors to not really celebrate the previous cultures that they conquered, you know, because if you celebrate and, you know, esteem a culture that you've conquered, then surely it's not so conquered anymore, is it? The whole point in conquering it is to beat it, is to defeat it, or else it defeats the point, you know, because if you ain't killed it and defeated it, then you aren't conquering it, and you aren't ruling anymore, and you aren't in charge and calling the shots, which seems to me is what exactly happened to our ancient sites. Because when Varley, the archaeologist, started poking around looking to find things out about them, the war broke out. What coincidence? And then after, here comes Mountbatten, mounting the thing with a series of towers, victory towers, on many of these type of sites, including ours. You know, it all seems too convenient to me. You can't actually make this up. You know, we're not actually making this up. This is fact. What is liberty? Where does the term come from? Where does the word come from? Oh, the source, the saucer, the saucer. What's saucer shaped? What is the source? Well, we come from somewhere, come from the birth, come from the womb, come from this experience of being born. And, you know, what does the saucer, the magic saucer? Oh, there's a saucer. It's a fungi. That also, you know, the same thing with liberty. You know, it's almost, you know, the only thing we're missing is an actual university course, never mind studying Gaelic, never mind studying anthropology, never mind studying the Amazon shamans, never mind studying the African Iboga tribes, you know, where, oh, look, there's Robin Carhart in the Imperial College studying psychedelics. There's a missing link here. Now, where is the ancient study of the religion of our ancient peoples? It doesn't exist because they didn't write anything down. That's funny because we've got anthropologists studying ancient religions of South America. We don't seem to have a subject and an anthropologist studying the ancient religions of the British Isles or Gaul. It doesn't seem there is one. Doesn't seem we have one because no one knows anything about it and no one wrote anything down and no one's even studying it. There is no ancient religion. It doesn't exist. You know, there's some fungi material around and some gestures of fungi and some cave paintings in Africa, and then we seem to have lost the plot somewhere. No one's tying it all together. Here's Robin Carhart in the Imperial College in London. Oh, and here's Mike Parker Pearson. And here's Neil Oliver. Oh, and look, over there, there's some, it's members of the House of Lords. They're anthropologists. They've also got degrees in anthropology in Africa, anthropology in South America. Oh, and here's Dennis McKenna. And there's Jonathan Ott. There's a missing link here. There's something not quite there. Oh, look, archaeologists studying ancient sites around Britain, Stonehenge and Bella Snap and West Kennet Longbarrow. Can we put all this together? Does this all fit together somehow? Is there an ancient religion of the British Isles that no one's even naming it or calling it? Doesn't seem to exist. Doesn't seem to be able to study it. You know, oh, and look, there's a lot of churches here. They've got interesting architecture. Look at that. Looks like a few giant mushrooms coming off the top of them. Is there something you're not telling us? You know, oh, just a minute. And there's some ancient burials of ancient ancestors and kings and other figures of Britain. Look, there's some cairns in Ireland. What happened to those? Oh, someone blew them up and strew the bones everywhere in the bodies. Oh, what a shame. DNA is easily contaminated. What a shame. Well, we won't be able to find out who they are, will we, Charles? What a shame. No, no, no. And there's another mound they found in Bury St Edmunds, and it's all been pulled up and put in the new museum. Now, it's alas, poor Yorick. Someone's taking the fucking piss. Oh, look, it's a battle in Hastings. Who's this cunt? Oh, it's William the Conqueror. Well, fuck me with a twill stick. Now we're all conquered. That's it. Nothing to see here. No ancient mounds and sites and burials. Nothing to see here. No ancient religion. Here we have Christianity. Now, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be his name, and give us this day our daily bread. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see in these ancient mounds and burials. No ancient religion here preceding Christianity. It's all illegal, the Roman Empire. It's all illegal. It's all illegal. It's all illegal. Oh, look there. Look, it's the actual thing itself. Look at that. A couple of mushrooms on. Nope, it's illegal, that. You can't, not to be in possession of these things. Nothing to see there. That's illegal. Don't touch that. It's criminal, you criminal. Just a minute. No, I thought it was an ancient religion. No. It's criminal now. It's criminal. Nothing to see here. Well, fuck me with a twiddle stick. It's actually criminal to attack an ancient religion or an ancient religious site. You could say that it's actually illegal to attack an ancient religious sacrament. Therefore, oh, look, it's Black Bull Barrister. Look. Oh, there's someone with a brain. Hey, just a minute. Are you trying to make a religious sacrament illegal? Would that be attacking the sacrament or the access or use to the sacrament with the law, making a law to prevent religious access to a sacrament, making a law to prevent religious use of a sacrament? Is that not in breach of United Nations religious site and religious artifact protection? Is that not actually illegal and criminal? Oh, look, it's Rishi Sunak. Hello, Rishi. Would you like to blow on a flute and make a snake come up out of a basket? Oh, there's a yogi. He knows something I don't know. Hello, ancient yogi. Would you like to teach me some ancient practices in India? Oh, yes. Well, I like to teach you something. There's a United Nations law protocol on religious sites, places, artifacts, and people. It's actually illegal or criminal to attack, spoil, ruin, vandalise, defame ancient religious artifacts and sites. I would include sacraments in that as well. Oh, look, there's Dennis McKenna. He's an expert in them, but he's in refuge in South America, Mexico, away from the American authorities and in trouble. Well, that's interesting because is America part of the United Nations as well? Seeing that it's based in New York, next to the Statue of Liberty. I don't see much liberation here for that ancient sacrament, do you? Although apparently in Los Angeles, in Berkeley now, they're tolerating it. There's something strange going on here. Someone doesn't want people to access an ancient religious sacrament. I might have to send the Pope a few messages about this. Might have to speak to him about it. Someone's taking the piss now, and it ain't me, right? That site has been attacked in 1954. Also, I know on the John Speed maps of West Yorkshire, I know on the Alex Hogg maps of West Yorkshire, someone has drawn the site and drawn it in the wrong place. They've drawn it at Hartshead, where the renowned Robin Hood's grave is. Oh, let me shoot an arrow, and where it lands, I will be buried. A little bit like an ancient mound where you might be buried when you die, or an ancient chamber, kind of like that, yes. Well, funnily enough, because we have got a very, very large mound around here. Interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. It might be the type of legend that someone might come up with to try and, it's not an arrow's fucking shot away, is it really? No. Someone is actually taking the piss out of us. Our heritage and religions and history, right? Not only here, but in Ireland as well, with that dolmen at Glendruid, where they're trying to build holiday apartments and skyscrapers next to it, even though it's a nice little noble dolmen in a beautiful valley. Very feminine looking shape as well, not unlike Ullalongbarrow, but nice and privately concealed. You could say that it's almost like a smaller version of our mound in the wider valley. Something. I have written to United Nations now. And I'm not joking about it, right? I'm not joking about it. So, historic England need to do something and not just sit there. The petitions are asking for United Nations action. Not World War II breaking out. Like when Varley the archaeologists started excavating the site. Yes, it's very serious. Let's start excavating. Let's get serious. World War II. Perfectly timed. When I say 3, 2, 1, World War II. Whoa, nice timing. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not today, then. But then, Varley, then. Right? Oh, look, it's the mound. Now they're building a tramway out there. Imperial Chemical Industries. What could that mean, refer to? Oh, and now the dense and strong liberal movement. The Liberal Party, Liberal Liberty, ticketed Liberty D. The sauce of you and me. The sauce. Liberty is the sauce. The sauce. And now, just a minute, pass me Dutchy to the left-hand side. Oh, Labour government have taken control of the council. Oh, and Sam Copley sold it all off. Oh, look, there's a fucking housing estate plonked on it. What a coincidence! And it's in the shape of a letter D. What's that resemble? Charades? No, I'll let you give you a loose guess. What does it vaguely resemble? Well, it's almost like a Liberty hat shape, and there's a D on it. Interesting. What's the closest image you can think to of that to match it to? It's a bit like a dunce hat with a letter D on. Well, fuck me. Stand me in the corner and put a dunce hat on my head and tell me to face the fucking wall. Is someone taking the piss? Was Alex Hogg taking the piss in that map? Was John Speed taking the piss? Someone's taking the piss, right? You could say the Roman army was taking the piss when they came to invade. You could say William the Conqueror was taking the piss when he came to invade. People are taking the piss. Yet, it's culture. Look, it's a museum. Let's remember the history and past and pay tribute to it. Oh no, actually, let's not. Let's try cover it up and hide it. Actually, let's write off the Department of Culture and History. Yes, we'll rename it now. Digital takeover and sports distractions, as Chris Packham says. The Department of Digital Distractions and Sports. In fact, you could say it is a bit of a sport. It's like a competition, conquering. There's a bit of sport going on there in Hastings. Oh yes, You know, we're not just fucking rowing down the fucking river with Oxford versus Cambridge. You know, it's just not just a boat race for a trophy. You know, it's actually a battle. You know, it's not a battle. You know, it's battle for what? For rulership. Conquest, a bit like Putin. That's what Putin's doing now. You know, so some serious shit going on. Serious shit about ownership of land. Serious shit going on about ruling the world. What might contribute to this? Power. Power and religion. Power, religions. Conquering rulership. Who will take control of the planet through this new digital culture, this marshalled military-style action far beyond the GDP, trillions, far beyond the GDP of any country, Charles. Well said. Oh, it's Tony. Yes, we got to get the framework and infrastructure in place now or never, or else we'll never do it if we don't do it now, seeing that everyone's getting control with the digital communication. Yes, we need to get a grip on it now. Oh, do you, Tony? And yes, we have to, you know, we have to champion the strength. The strength. Well, you know, that's right, Tony. I think that's what, you know, Klaus, he's trying to, World Economic Forum's trying to do with the microchips in his brains, and then we really will be conquered then, won't we? Every single one of us, you know. You know, I'm not into this stupid media centre bullshit. Media centre, digital buildings, you know, but yet, you know, it's Oxford University, the historic buildings and culture of England. Bath, the beautiful ancient city. Look, Winchester, you know, Winchester School. You know, yeah, if it seems to be anything to do with, you know, history and heritage to do with the conquerors, seems to be renowned, redeemed, esteemed. But if it's anything to do with the history and culture of the conquered, the defeated, you know, we got the signs wrong. We had the signs wrong all along. The signs were wrong. Oh no, it's, you know, dig it up. Pull it to pieces, you know, throw the bodies around, throw them around like Cromwell, get them dug up, hung, draw and quarter them. This is the problem. We're actually suffering insult. We're suffering insult from these people who come and literally insult our heritage and culture, and then invite everyone over for a party. Come on, everyone come into the country, no matter whether you're Muslim, African, Indian, Hindu, come. Because forget this culture, trample it down, trample it over. Come here, and be part of this new digital global world we are creating. Don't worry about those stupid little mounds and burials there. Just get them trampled over. Fuck them. Yes, I am Charles, Emperor of the world, with my new marshalled strength, military-style takeover. Criminal illegal takeover in breach of United Nations religious site protection. And I would put the sacrament under that as well. Because you've legislated, it's the law though. Well, yes, also, but so is the United Nations law as well, which your law is in contravention of. What about the Bill of Rights and the right to practice a religion? Not only the rights to petition, the rights to practice religion. Well, how am I going to practice religion if I can't get on the sacrament? It's been illegal. Well, I therefore say your law is illegal, just like the law is illegal, which is now trying to be put through to stop us even public speaking about petitions, public speaking about political causes, because in fact, you can't actually enact those laws. Thou shalt not make any commitments. Congress shall make no law. But here we have Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson making these laws. They clearly don't know what they're talking about or doing in Parliament. And now it's Andrew Bridgen standing up and speaking out about COVID. Yeah, he's booted out of his party. And here is John Bercow, the Speaker, booted out of his party. And here's Jeremy Corbyn, booted out of his party. Why? Because he's in opposition to the digital culture. Yes, let's have a government-funded Facebook, fair for the people, for non-profits and non-advertising. Oh, no, we can't have that, because then Mark Zuckerberg wouldn't be in excess of billions of profit with Nick Clegg and have a big handle over us. You know, we need to champion this, as Tony Blair says. We need to get a handle on it, you know. There has to be some strength, you know, some strength behind it, get a handle on it, you know. Well, not the voters' handles, not the electors' handles. You mean get a handle on the electors, Tony? Get a chip in their brain, get a control button on them. You know, that seems to be the plan to me. Illegal, criminal. So, yeah, religious site protection. And on the sacrament as well, I'm claiming that. I'm claiming that on the sacrament, not only on the ancient sites. And then we'll see. Then we will see who's taking over the fucking planet with the digital shit when people start waking up and smelling the coffee, you know. Then, you know, Dennis McKenna will be on the money. Then Graham Hancock will be on the money. And then, you know, we'll see what Pope Francis has to say about it and the Archbishop of Canterbury. When people are actually going, just a minute, actually, you know, I've got a better idea for how we should be running this planet and world. And actually, I don't want a microchip in my brain. In fact, I don't want a microchip in my finger. In fact, I don't actually want a microchip anywhere near me. In fact, just a minute, what is going on with these phones? What's going on here? Everyone seems to be mesmerised to the phones, and in fact, they might glue them to their fucking forehead, which seems to be what Mark wants to be doing with these fucking Ray-Bans. Yes, could that be why the sacrament is banned? Because you don't want people actually waking up and figuring what the fuck's going on in this world and actually a better idea of doing things. Just a minute. Profits. What's the fucking point in that? I should be eating fresh fruit and vegetables and nuts and berries and leaves and mushrooms. But yeah, I don't find any anywhere. I seem to be finding all these, you know, McDonald's shit everywhere, you know. That's the problem. This is the problem, you know.